Committee, right?
Correct.
Okay, so Jim, I'm going to turn it over to you since there's only one agenda item, and you're going to introduce that.
Yes. You'll notice that we have Pedro Salazar and Dustin Wyatt with us today. The purpose of this item on the agenda is to meet with the employees, team members that decided to take advantage of the merit and incentive program that came about as a result of the MOU between the district and the Duluth Employees Association. And what this is an opportunity for all employees in the association to bring forth a project early in the calendar year. And Dustin and Pedro have done such, which we'll describe as we get to them on the agenda. But basically, it's a project that is done primarily on work time, but it's something that the team member can initiate, follow through, and that would improve the operations of the district. So to begin, and I'll spend a little more time on his project. We talk about Pedro Salazar. He's maintenance worker too. Been with us about 15 years. Is that correct, Pedro? Are you hearing me?
I'm hearing you. Are you hearing me?
Yes. Okay. Okay. I'm just doing a test here. You're the first one up.
Yeah.
So, Pedro and I met early in the year, probably more mid-year because of the COVID thing. But as you board members know, one of the projects we've been working on for some time is to identify all the drains that we own. We did the paver project, which identified and classified and added a dollar amount actually to all of the pavement that we own, and that was done 5 years ago. But paver does not have a culvert management program, so we're doing it ourselves. And I believe, Pedro, don't we know, or haven't we identified 677 drains that we, the district, own?
Yeah, we did.
Is it 677, Pedro?
Yes, it is.
Okay. That's a lot of items to own. And up until now, we knew they were there. The field people knew how to find them. They cleaned them, worked on them, but there was no cataloging of documentation. One, about what this culvert piece of property we own, what is it? How big is it? What's it made of? What's its condition? That sort of thing. So Pedro basically just worked with us, myself and others, as we stepped through the process. And his job was to go out on the field, photograph every one of these, make a determination of what its condition was, and then bring that information back, and then work with, I've assigned it to Renee, who's also cataloging other things for us, to develop a spreadsheet which identifies and catalogs all the information that we currently have regarding these culverts. So I went a little bit further than I will on the next ones, but I'm just trying to give everyone an idea of what this program is, and I use Pedro as the example. So Pedro, it's now your time to tell us, or the board, the details of your project. And I set it up with kind of the background. But I'll let you take it from here for maybe 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and answer questions the board may have.
Okay, so there's a little slideshow too that there was done, just like some wording and stuff. I don't know if it can be brought up.
Jessica, can we put it on the screen?
Yes, I will get that up shortly. Give me one moment.
Yeah, we're stepping through this. This is the first time. And Pedro, just so you know, we all have copies of it.
Okay.
So we weren't sure that the screen was going to work. Just to be prepared, we did it that way too. So they'll be able to see it on the screen, but it'll be better, I think, if it's on the screen and we're all on the same page now, okay? So let's hold for a minute and have Jessica bring it up. I guess just to conclude the introductory remarks, what we're going to do is the committee is going to hear from each of the 4 team members today. And then we're going to close that out and everybody can go back except the committee and do their thing. All right, so you were finished. It'll be finished at that point. The committee is going to conduct the regular finance committee meeting. And then at the conclusion of that, myself, Robert, and Debbie will adjourn into a closed session so everybody can go on with their day. And then the committee will make a determination as to what they're going to present to the board next week based on the presentations they heard. So we would do this a little differently if we were all in the same room, but we're trying to keep, and we got to work with the Zoom thing. So that's the way we set it up. Let's see. I'm gonna go see. Well, I did. It doesn't matter. Teresa, do you think is it getting set up here? Okay. Another item while we're waiting. I'm looking at this screen, and on one side is Pedro, and on the other side is Dustin, and they surround everyone here on the screen. That's good that they're just on the screen because both of them tested positive for COVID on Friday. So you want to just keep them on the screen. We would have had them elsewhere anyhow, but they're both quarantined until next Monday morning or next Monday. Anyway, the Zoom actually worked out good considering the situation that we're in. Teresa and Jessica, who were exposed to some degree, have tested negative. And I'm feeling just fine, so I haven't tested. So last encounter with either of them 6 days ago. So it's been a little unusual around here this week. Jessica's bringing up the slides here.
Can you please forward me the PowerPoint presentation? The PowerPoint, the attachment. Can you forward me their PowerPoint presentation? Just forward it, please.
If they were here, this wouldn't be an issue. We would have just done it right on the screen of the board room, but things change. Teresa, do we have a report? How's this coming along? Teresa?
Jessica just received them, so she's pulling them up right now. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Isn't it? Pedro, are you still asymptomatic?
I think so. I don't have no like symptoms or nothing, but I haven't got tested again. So I'm not going until probably like the 15th or the 16th to get tested.
Are you positive, Pedro?
I am.
And
So
when did you find out you were positive?
on Friday.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was Friday at 2 o'clock, and then Dustin, we found out at about 5:30 in the evening. Is that correct, Dustin?
Yes.
Okay. So they were both,
Did anybody else at the CSD get tested? Did you, Jim, or Jessica, or Teresa?
Jessica, yes, and it was negative. Teresa, yes, and it was negative. And I haven't, because I don't have any symptoms, and I really wasn't too much. 3 hours.
So is that why we're doing this by Zoom? Because we had originally planned to do this in person.
In person, and that's why we had to change.
Right.
So anyhow, Jessica, what are we looking at here?
I don't see either any of. You guys see me? Can you see me? I see
Yeah.
Dustin now. Okay, great.
No,
So we-
I can't see anybody but me.
I see Dustin. Oh, Mr. Roberts there. I don't know.
I got kicked off the Wi-Fi.
Everyone did because of our Wi-Fi.
Okay.
That's why. You're coming back up though. Slowly but surely, everyone's coming back up.
We're gonna try to bring the presentation over.
It's been a
Right.
heck of a.
But it's our
You hear me,
Wi-Fi.
Robert?
Hi,
Robert,
sorry.
can you hear me?
Yes.
The Wi-Fi crashed this morning. So we've been running around like crazy people here. And we're actually using the next door neighbor's Wi-Fi to make this
Wait, I
happen.
don't see
So
Miss Debbie
it's
though.
been a crazy day. And then Jessica, the phones, because of the Wi-Fi went down, or the internet went down. Our phones are actually running through her cell phone. And she had to run up to pick up the newsletter, and she was answering district calls on her cell phone and got herself a ticket from Temecula's Finest. And I actually heard the officer giving her a ticket because she was transferring through a phone call to me. And she had told him, I'm doing this for, the district. He said, I don't care. Here's your ticket. Everybody's been having a bad day here, so
Why don't we, maybe why don't we forego the trying to get it on the screen and just use the us.
Because Pedro, you don't have a hard copy, do you?
I don't, but I know most of it off the top of my head. I'll
Let's
give
do
him my
that. Let's just do it, wing it. How's that?
yeah. Okay,
As it
so
comes on, you can pick it up.
yeah, I'll wing it. So there's like you were saying, there's 677 drains. We primary we check drains first.
Do we have Debbie back? I'm sorry.
I'm getting Miss Debbie back up. I'm sorry.
What is the issue now?
We don't have Debbie.
I'm getting her back up.
He's starting his presentation, so
Oh, it fell off the internet.
hang on, she'll be back in a
This is
second.
very band-aided together, but it was working before we started the meeting. Let's see.
Why'd your Wi-Fi crash?
Teresa? Well,
Yes.
what we're doing is we got a new phone system. And
Yeah.
it was a conversion between Frontier and the new system. And somebody at Frontier dropped the ball, and it's probably an economic thing because we're not using as much service from Frontier. So they just pulled the plug and said, we'll be out there Friday. So that's what we know at this point, so.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not gonna be an ongoing problem. It's just this one glitch in the whole thing, so.
The other thing, Teresa, I see you have the presentation there right in front of you.
Yeah, you want me to hold it up?
Yeah, hold it up. I think that would also, and Pedro can see it. And so he knows what page we're on, and maybe Jessica could hold it up too if she has it.
I have it.
There you go.
Okay, this is drain inspection process by Pedro Salazar.
Okay, so
Is Debbie on the line?
Pedro's gonna wait.
I'm
back. I'm back.
Okay, so let's go.
okay, so there is 760 drains in the district. We first of all we went around, we checked all the drains, we took pictures of all the drains before and after. I'm kind of winging it because I can't see it real well.
That's fine, go ahead, you're doing good.
Oh, that's fine. And we went around, we sourced them all into categories, from easy work, from just little trash and tumbleweeds and stuff like that. And then after we got done with that, we put them into a better category, which was if we need to rent equipment and stuff like that. So we got the equipment out, we cleaned the drains, we did a little bit more of cleaning the details. And with the pictures that we took, it will categorize the drains from the what they are now, from rust and erosion and all that kind of stuff that could be problems in the future. And so that's pretty much what we did as just a typical rundown off the top of my head. I'm sorry, I just don't have all this stuff with me. I'm out here and I got put in a trailer since I got Corona. So if you guys have any questions,
Here he is.
There we
more than
go.
welcome to.
We've already covered that. Keep going, Jessica. Recorded the condition, okay, now.
Oh,
Where you ended, Pedro.
yeah, we
After your field work, then what happened? You have all this information from the field, what'd you do with it?
Oh, and then we put it on a spreadsheet, into a spreadsheet on the computer that they have, like they show in the picture right there, and we categorize them all. Well, we shorted them by the terms, poor, good, immediate attentions, and get the next page. And then this will prioritize the words from simplest to most efficient, which helped us finish before all the rains happened and everything. we did all the intro work, like the trash, the weeds, the debate, and like the small silt removal of the drains. And then we rented a piece of equipment to clean the remaining of the silt up, which was the backhoe that we rented. And then the summaries, nearly all 700 drains were inspected by staff. The inspection was completed primarily by the change of the weather. We recorded the cap like erosions, rust, and repairs, entering all into the spreadsheet, which allows us to correct the measurements. And we have took pictures to give us the history of the drains. And that was our yearly inspection. If you guys have any questions.
It's very good. How long does it take you, Pedro, to inspect the drain?
A single drain?
Yeah,
So a single drain, it will probably take us anything from 5 to 10 minutes to walk down there and photograph it, because some of them are simple offside of the roads, and some of them they're quite a ways down.
okay. But you've got to walk down there to do that, right?
Yes.
Okay, you can't just do it from the road.
No, we're walking down and we're physically like putting our hands on culverts,
Okay,
That's the only way into the culvert and see if there's rust or disconnections from where they connect the pipes, and that's the only way we can physically do it.
okay. And who operated the backhoe?
We both did.
Okay.
Dustin.
All right, so you're both capable of doing that. You have expertise in being able to do that.
Yes,
Okay,
we
good.
do.
Excellent. Excellent. Debbie, you have any questions?
No, great job. A lot of detail. Oh, how about this one? Overall, how long did it take you from start to finish to complete this?
Well, from start to finish, with the cleaning and everything, or no, or
Yes,
just the
yes.
inspection?
With the cleaning.
Well, with the cleaning and everything, about 2 months. Just
Very
shy.
good.
And one thing I should point out is that the district has always cleaned drains annually, especially before the winter. What we hadn't advanced to is some documentation that in fact we had done that. And really, we didn't even have documentation. The documentation was, if there was a question about a drain, you walked into Keith, we were here in the office, and asked him about the El Prado South drain, whatever. And he'd say, oh yeah, that's number 20 to 28 or something like that. And then he would give us the history. This puts all of that history here. And in the office with this new equipment and with what Renee's doing, building our new system in the cloud, what Pedro accomplished is that he integrated the field information into our new system in the office. And so all the work he did now in the year 2020 is all recorded. And every year thereafter, by this spreadsheet then goes into I can't remember the name, but it's basically the old filing cabinet, okay? But this is electronic filing cabinet. So had we had this in 16 Buena Vista and Sandia Creek washouts, we probably would have gotten $2 million out of FEMA. This is what FEMA wanted. So it was one thing for us to do it in the office, but we needed someone like Pedro, okay, to take the ball and run with this in the field, get the data to us, and then every year thereafter, we'll follow suit. And we'll have like a systematized process of making sure our drains are ready for the wet.
Okay, very good. That's great. Pedro, you did a great job, and we appreciate it. And this will make a big difference in the future, particularly if we have any more storms like we've had in the past. So we thank you very much for doing that. Good job.
Thanks,
Yes,
Robert.
great job. Thank you.
Thank you, Pedro. So now you're back off to quarantine. Enjoy the rest of your day in the trailer. Sorry.
No worries. I understand.
Okay, you take care. Thanks for coming.
Okay, Jim, next.
Okay, Dustin Wyatt, his job is, or project, I should say, is one that is going to be ongoing. Ultimately, what we want to do is to have the information that that resides currently in the district office out in the field. So we want to connect our people in the field to the administrative people in the office. And I've been talking about this for a couple of years. I don't know if the two board members know, but the others make comments about me being a dinosaur, technology dinosaur, and stuff like this. But what I was searching for, and it came up at a previous board meeting, is something along the lines of what our water district has. And that's like a tablet that is in every truck and with every field person. And that stores all the information of what they're accomplishing during the course of the day. I surfed the net. Some guy came to the board meeting, says, "Oh, well, my company does that. I'll give it to you." Well, that never materialized. But I really didn't know what I was looking for surfing the internet. And so I'm leading into something I asked Dustin, because he's pretty technologically savvy and a young man, more in that age group that understands these things. So I threw the ball to him, and he grabbed it and ran with it, and he's going to report on that. And this, I should say, is an ongoing project. He's going to stay with this. So he's already got his project for 2021, which is to continue on with what he's going to report on. Justin, that's your intro. It's all yours.
All righty. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. So furthermore, my name's Dustin, obviously. I've worked for past civil contractors and such that have utilized programs in the field to basically help document work, streamline the process, and make it so that the field and office have a better communication and documentation is more streamlined and straightforward. Jim had come to me with this, with this, just at the mere fact that I do have experience with this, being a field manager and supervisor in the past. I actually was lucky enough to help develop the program once, and I'm excited to help, direct the district in the right way again for the second time. So I have everything written down here. So, you brought up the slide too. That's perfect. So anyways, my idea is basically it's a field application. It streamlines field work documentation, makes documentation easier for us in the field, digitally records notes and pictures. It eliminates paper hard copies and manual filing. There's a lot of paperwork involved, and eliminating that is a huge bonus. Allows for easy retrieval of data and pictures. The capabilities of it is that it tracks work location. Obviously, there's a lot of curiosity as to where we're at on a daily basis. This program would allow us to basically document each location to further explain what we do in the field and better document it as well. Crew scheduling, it helps us schedule for the future, and it helps us document current projects that we're doing at the time. Send and receive pictures and notes. And as of right now, since we're just working on getting things ahead, we're sending pictures via email and such like that. This allows it to be streamlined, and it's all in one piece. The efficiency is it works offline. It doesn't require any sort of cell phone service or anything like that. There's no Wi-Fi required. As said before, it eliminates paper trail, easy viewing, and access for both field and staff. The benefits is it saves time documenting. It's a one-time, it's a one-step. It allows easy one-time documentation versus multiple pieces, multiple people documenting, and room for error. So it improves communication overall. Streamlined for easy use, and it keeps accurate records of work completed, work to be completed, and history of assets. The summary would be obviously that it does improve documentation. It's very, very, very important. Obviously, hearing some of the problems that the district has had in the past, being in the past that it wasn't technologically advanced in these times. Efficient, it's less chance for errors. Obviously, people make more errors nowadays, it seems, than computers do. Easy viewing and retrieval of data, and accurate history of work locations. So I will continue basically to research for what's appropriate for our district and what program we believe that we should be using and implementing in the field. Attending meetings in the future to provide field perspectives to IT, helping management track work and assets. I stand ready at any time, whether I'm at work or off work, to assist IT and management with implementation of such a program, if this is approved. I think I'm really excited to be involved in this, and I'm excited to see the district move in the right direction with everybody else. So this should be exciting. Does anybody have any questions?
I'll add one comment, just to kind of clarify. At this point in time, you've been exploring all these canned apps that we could purchase. And the conclusion that we reached about a month ago is they're too expensive, and they're not set up for the work flow and the work type that we have. It will take a lot of expensive modifications to a canned program or a canned system. And so when we talk about IT, Justin and Steve and Dave and everybody kind of got together and said, why don't, because we didn't know the capabilities of Willdan, but they have an IT department. So it looks like we're going to be proposing very soon that we're just going to hire their IT guys as if we were Willdan. And it looks like it's going to be about 20 to 25,000 just in there charging for their time. And what's his name? Rex, Dustin?
Rex, yes.
Rex is the big computer guru of Willdan, and they think they can build it for us. You know, copying basically the other apps. And then Dustin would be the interconnect from the field. Because ultimately what we need is something like the water district, which is these tablets for, you know, like a iPad kind of thing that they'll keep in the truck, and it runs off GPS. So we don't get cell signal up there, but we still get GPS. So it'll be recorded internally. Then when they get down to where they get signal, it'll download to our cloud so that all that information is stored here in the office. Did I explain that right, Dustin?
That's perfectly accurate, yes.
So the next step, so what Dustin has accomplished so far is basically, he confirmed that if all the things that are out there are probably $100,000 to buy, and it probably won't work anyway without an awful lot of internal IT modification. And so that was good to know, because for me to reach that conclusion and present that to the board, that's kind of like the blind leading the blind, you know. I don't know for sure. And so one of the things that Dustin really understands is that he's actually been in trucks in his previous work life and been out in the field and used these systems. So if he tells me Yeah, you're right. There's not a system out there that's gonna be readily convertible to Duluth. And that's very valuable to know. So, anyway, that's what I found helpful. And the next phase would be to work with the IT people and see if we can really design this, and ultimately in 6 months or whatever, have those in the trucks. And one thing is safety. By having the GPS, one, we know where they're at, which, some people can say we're spying on people or whatever. But like the water district, they know where their people are at all times. And since they're out there, sometimes all alone, it's much more safe for a job, employer kind of thing, that somebody knows where they're at. So anyway.
Okay, very good. Do we have any questions? Hey, Dustin, when do you expect this to be fully operational?
Fully operational, it's definitely seeming if we all move, if this all, goes forward in the right direction, we could probably start using this in the field within the next, months. It's obviously gonna be an ongoing development just to make sure that it continues to work for us in the field. This is baby steps. We're just getting started, obviously, but we will probably be experimenting with it in the field in the next couple of months.
Okay, great. Well, we look forward to maybe some updates in terms of how this is going in the future. So maybe we can have you come back to the Finance Committee and talk to us a little bit about where this is in a couple of months. How's that sound?
That sounds great. Hopefully I'll be able to give you guys a demonstration too.
Yeah, that would be wonderful.
Cool.
Perfect.
Okay.
Any questions, Debbie? Anything?
No, very straightforward. Well done. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Dustin, and stay quarantined, will you?
Yes, I
No
will.
more viruses for you.
I'll see you guys later. Have a good day.
Take care.
Thanks.
Bye.
Steve, you are their supervisor now. Is there any comment on those two that the board would need to know that we didn't cover? Any observations?
Well, I want to just kind of echo some of the things that you've already said, that this is taking the district well into the future now. We had a situation before where they did the work, but there wasn't really a lot of tracking of it per se, and it would be in scattered notes in different places, things like that. So Pedro's project is bringing us current, to today's times. Then Dustin's project is kind of propelling us into the future and saying, okay, now that you have all that data and you have it electronically recorded in that electronic, cabinet that you got in there, now how can we access that? I don't have to drive down the hill anymore to go get some piece of paper or a map or a history or a picture, anything like that. I can just call it right up from my laptop or my tablet that I'll have at that time. So it's definitely a change in the direction, but a great step in the right direction, and for such a small cost, so this is the great part of it that, he's looking out for and the district's looking out for, doing this for the least amount of cost involved that makes it more efficient for our guys. So.
Excellent.
And Debbie,
Excellent.
so all these big changes we're making, we're budgeted 2 years in a row. So this is the second year. And I believe the total that we set aside was 50,000. It was 50,000 each year. And we had some left over from last year. So there's about 60,000, and we've spent some. The crash that we had today is related to some degree to all these improvements we're making. If in fact Wilderness people could design this and put that program into it, your tablets are cheap. We need a couple tablets. I'm thinking if they could do that for 25,000, I think we really scored. So that's kind of where we're at, and it's very helpful to have the guys, because if we designed it and we went out to some company on the internet, we paid $100,000 and then called Dustin and Pedro over and said, or Steve did, and said, here, guys, here's your tablet, make it work, enjoy it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't fly. You know, you've got to have people involved in its development that are going to be using it.
Oh, yes.
You know, it'll just be resistance and, you know, it's just human nature. So I think it's good that they're involved in this and having a say in what ultimately is going to be the tool they use to work every day. So.
Hey, Jim, how do we want to proceed with any other presentations or?
Teresa next, and then we have, or Jessica, I think. Teresa, are you next or Jessica? It's Jessica next. So Steve, if you want to
Okay.
go work on something else, you can, or you can stay wherever you want to
Hey,
go.
guys. Merry Christmas. If I don't see you before then.
Oh, you'll
You
see
too.
us
Take
next
care.
week at the meeting, at the board meeting. One more
That's right.
time. Yeah.
That's right. All right. See you next week.
Okay, thanks, Steve. So
Hey, Jessica,
Hi. Oh, maybe that's better. Yes,
Jessica,
hello.
Jessica's project happened as a result of the change in life in the beginning of 2020. If you remember March, we're scrambling around whether we're going to meet or not meet in person. How are we going to conduct business that's legal? Things were in a kind of a total state of chaos. And at that time, we weren't as technologically advanced in February as we are now. And so kind of like with Dustin, you had me, I'll just use me as the dinosaur. What's the difference between Zoom and GoToMeeting and all these different apps and systems? And so we were here in the office, at least in Spin Cycle. And so the merit incentive project for Jessica just evolved naturally. Jessica knew how to do these things or was capable of learning them. And so we just threw the football over at her and said, figure this out for us. And Jessica, the floor is now yours. So what's your 6 months been like?
Oh, Lord. Well, now it's getting a little bit better with all, sorry about the technical difficulties today. But in the beginning, it was a little bit of a nightmare, I'm not gonna lie. Trying to learn a new system, Microsoft Teams just was not user-friendly as we had thought. Last minute, Zoom was presented, and so we had to switch and learn it, know it, just like that. But it's always ongoing, learning a new system, every day, something new. But how to learn how to sign up, get an account, get staff on Zoom, their accounts, board members, downloading the software. We did a lot of test meetings. We did, learning how to be a host, authenticated the profiles for staff and some board members, inviting others to meetings, learning how to join and post to our website, recording all of our meetings, audio, that's always an ongoing, learning how to screen share. And every day there's a new feature on Zoom that they come up with that, if it's beneficial for us, then yes, I'll go through the tutorial. And they have also webinars that, that I've taken. And then just learning the whole program in itself. It's been, like I said, it's been an ongoing process that we're there. But it's just our audio, I'm not quite sure why that's always an issue with us, but that's it in a nutshell, basically.
One thing you didn't mention
Hmm.
And it's something that we haven't been able to observe ourselves. That is, once we got all these meetings completed and everybody trained and participating, then we had to figure out how to put it on our webpage so people could access our meetings.
Uh-huh.
I recall that was because we use an outside vendor to do our webpage. So I know it's always difficult just changing the webpage, working with them and getting it the way we want it. But then adding all these meetings that people could go on the internet, go to our webpage and start clicking and watching meetings. Tell us a little bit about that. I know you had quite a struggle with
Oh, yes, it's been, well, yes, we did have to go through a third vendor as far as that goes, for our webpage, but that, developing our own, YouTube account to download and export the videos, and then we had to, configure and get all of the web addresses, copy paste. So it's a little bit of a task, but we were working through it. And all of our recordings are now on our website. And then along with the link that the participants, public, can participate in our meetings. That was had to figure out how to do that, but and now they can, if the public chooses to participate in any of our meetings, and they're able just to click on that link, and then it'll take them right to the Zoom meeting, which is easy. We wanted to figure out a way, or come up with a way that would be user friendly for public. So that's what we did.
it.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Not to mention you're our COVID coordinator.
Oh.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yes, well, I'm trying to, read up on everything, every day there's something new or new regulation or things of that nature, and trying to get our office and staff is, trying to comply. I think we're doing pretty good, with the PPE and things of that nature, but keeping the office clean, doing everything we can on our end to stay safe and healthy. So that's about it.
So you don't want to put your hand on a surface in this office if Jessica comes along and wipes it down.
So that is my in a nutshell, that is what I have been working on. Every day is so ongoing. So there we go.
Okay.
Presentation.
Good. Thank you very much.
You're
Yes.
welcome.
Yes, well done. Thank you. I know there's a whole lot. It's probably a book that you really have here in terms of what you've done. There's so many steps to every aspect of what you've been doing here. So great job. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Jim, I will go ahead and make you host. Is
Well,
that-
not yet. We got Teresa's presentation.
Oh, yes, okay.
And
sure.
then we're gonna just do the regular meeting. So it's gonna be a while yet.
Okay, I will be here.
Teresa, it's time for your presentation, and it looks like your audio's off. Are you on mute?
Can you
Say
hear me now?
something. There you go. Okay.
Okay. Okay, well, I'm sure both of you know, one of the main projects this year has been, excuse me, FEMA. FEMA has taken up quite a bit of my time. Hang on. Got a frog in my throat. The first thing, we needed that was different this year from other FEMAs was no more handwritten paperwork. We used to do everything was paper that you'd sent to FEMA. So this year I went to Riverside and got the training for the FEMA portal, because everything now is sent through the portal. There's no paper documentation. And within the portal, there's a 13-step process that each project goes through. And we have a total of 60 projects that had to be pushed through this portal. And every step of the way, each team you work with wants a different document, needs different, paperwork in the portal to push it through to the next. So successfully, we pushed 58 projects through that portal. So that's at the end of that portal, that's when they obligate the money. They're saying, okay, yes, we agree, you met all the criteria to receive assistance from us. So that was the first part of this whole process. Then it went into working, actually closing the projects out with Cal OES, because that's who funds it. It goes to FEMA, then it goes to Cal OES. And they come back and they look at everything, and then they ask for more documentation, and they need spreadsheets and the whole 9 yards. So we were we've closed out all of our small projects. They're still in there, and right now they are working with Willdan on soft costs, going through the scopes and closing those out. There were 2 months, July and August, I believe, where I was here overtime on the weekends, just to, because you can't fit that in and get the regular work done too. So that was a really crazy time. We're getting ready to pick back up again now because they want us to start closing out all our large projects. So that is where we're at right now. And so it's going to be a crazy couple of upcoming months, I think. So I'm working with Jim and Willdan and FEMA to get that going. So hopefully within the next several months, we'll really start seeing some money come through here. So that's where a great deal of my time has been spent following up on that, FEMA. Then the other thing also that took quite a bit of time, and it really kind of was a seamless project. It's kind of a bad day to talk about this today since we're having so many glitches. Really, the first time we've had a glitch was today, and it's a Frontier issue. Anyway, before we all had computers. They weren't networked. They were standalone PCs. What I had on my computer, no one could have access to. What Jessica would have, what Jim would have. We were all separated. And the way we communicated was, okay, let's print it out and I'll give it to you. And you can scan it in. So you can see how much kind of time that took not to be able to access information other people have. So anyway, we hired Triune to come in here, and we got all the same kind of scanners. We have all the same kind of computers. We're all on the same kind of software operating system, and we are truly networked now. We're building out the structure where we have a tree in the server, in the cloud, like whatever Jessica does, whatever I do, whatever Jim does, we can go, we can grab, and we can alter, we can change it. But we're careful not to, we have safeguards, and of course you don't want people getting into personnel files and things like that. So we have safeguards in place for that. But we're still in the process of building that out. So we are now in a true network environment, and we had the whole place rewired with Cat6 cabling, and that was important for the speed. Everything is dragging. Everything was wired for 15 years ago and couldn't keep up with the technology. So as a whole, we are all now operating together as a team instead of, I have this part, but I've got to come over and ask you for this agenda or this or whatever. Now I can go and grab that agenda. Jim wants to see something that happened 20 years ago, which we're in the process of scanning all of our old documentation into the cloud. Jim can go and look at a resolution or something from the Board of Supervisors from 20 years ago. Before, you'd have to go out in the garage and root through cobwebs. So that's really important, and I'm really glad that Jim, was the cheerleader in that, and it happened, and it's working great. And then the other also technological advance we've had is our phone system. We were working on a phone system, I think that was almost 25 years old. typical landline systems. Now we are with a company called Nextiva, and they are voice over IP, meaning we don't have any landlines anymore. The phones are run through the internet. They're through our cloud, our network. So yes, we're having problems today, and I apologize for that, but these phones do so many amazing things. And in the next few months, we're just going to be amazed to what we can do with these phones, from video conferencing to just all different kinds of things. But anyway, putting those three things together, I think that's, other than my normal finance stuff, what I've been working on this year.
Very good. And we thank you for all your efforts. We know that you've been just incredible in terms of putting all of this together, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Also, I want to comment, Jim, Teresa, you are so multi-talented. Your expertise in finance and all the involvement on the IT side, all the way down to the phone system. Just excellent work. I hope you get another day off here real soon. Before you
Like a roller coaster. We'll survive.
Right.
That was one of my things when a long time ago when I first got hired here. I think I said, I can wear a lot of different hats, and I think Rob was interviewing me, and I had the attorney was there, and the auditors were there, and I said I can wear many hats. I said, if you want me to go in and plunge in the toilet, I can do that. So it's being part of a small place. You got to be able to just throw down and help where you can. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, so we finished the presentations. Do we want to move into the regular meeting at this point, Jim?
Yes, do the meeting and then we'll end your committee meeting in a closed session, and we'll be talking about the presentation.
Right. So we'll do that after the regular meeting.
Right.
So we have the general fund and sheriff fund claims. Any questions about that?
No.
Okay. I see there's something on here that says Wildan, FEMA environmental bill to FEMA.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yes. Well, our environmental people, they're contracted with Wildan. So
I see,
Wildan
okay.
pays them, and they bill us. We have a copy of their bill, but it's attached to the Wildan bills, and then they pay them. So that's what that is.
I
That's
see.
how that works.
I see.
Okay.
And why did we do it that way? Why not just have them do it through us?
We could have, but it was expediting.
Okay.
Timing thing. Yeah.
And there weren't at the time, there weren't a lot of companies available, so it wasn't too much of a competitive thing. It was who was able to take us on at the time. So basically, Dave just went out and found somebody, hired them, and then they bill Wildan.
Okay.
I wouldn't do that. I've never done it that way over the years. EIRs that way. I call them EIRs that way. Normally they come in and they're very competitive, but they tend to, the ones I've worked on are for huge development projects, and there's a lot of money. So
Yeah.
they're all competitive, and then the board picks one and all this. In our case, they were both small jobs, and nobody was too interested in doing it.
Mhm.
I think we would
Yeah.
prefer not to do it that way again.
Yeah, I'm not sure we would.
Right.
I wouldn't do it.
Right. Okay. Then I saw another one here that said like that.
Mhm.
See if I can find it.
The one down below.
Yeah, there's another one, FEMA invoicing to FEMA.
Right.
What is that?
Wait, I'm trying to, the 5,500 one?
58,
58.
56, yeah.
Oh, so this is another fee that we will be passing on to FEMA. when I was talking to you about Wildan's working right now with FEMA on the scope and the soft costs, when they're doing that, the cha-ching is still adding up. So we will be able to still pass these costs on to FEMA. So this is Wildan working with FEMA to go over the scopes and the soft costs so we can get all of them approved. So, you know,
But this
verifying-
money goes to Wildan, not to FEMA.
Because they're working on an hourly rate. And the process is, FEMA basically is saying, prove to us that the work that you did meets the scope of work that we approved originally. And so we don't have that expertise, and so they're, Ron, I guess, right, Teresa? Ron's
Right.
doing that?
right.
And he's working on the 23 and the 34. And then that, I guess, we get back as administrative costs someday, Teresa?
What will happen is.
No, no, I understand all of that. That's not the,
Oh,
the issue is the labeling of it. This is a payment to Wildan.
it is.
Just didn't
Okay,
want-
so that's not clear by the labeling that you have.
Yeah, it really isn't.
Well, I guess FEMA, Wildan is working on Wildan invoicing to FEMA. So all of Wildan's invoices that they've invoiced FEMA stuff for, all the engineering, they're having to work on all their invoicing and prove that all their soft costs are valid. So they're working on their own invoicing to FEMA. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I think so, but we're still paying Wildan.
Yes.
Yes, but
Or
and we'll be passing these
hourly
costs,
costs.
we'll be passing these costs to FEMA. But if, I'm trying to think, FEMA invoicing for FEMA.
But the meter.
Wildan invoicing to FEMA, maybe it should have said, you know what I mean? Wildan invoicing to FEMA, because that's what they're working on. Like, let's say FEMA Wildan billed us $60,000 for all this FEMA projects.
Okay, I got it now. I got it.
But
Okay.
I did label it kind of wonky. It doesn't really explain. I could have put a better description, I think. on
But
that.
Okay.
it's other things too. It's these outside the contractors that work for us. And remember, Teresa, the fill, where the dirt that they took out and where it went, and FEMA
Right,
just said, we're not paying for that.
right.
So we weren't there, but, so the engineers are all arguing about this.
Yeah, so
And that's in there, right, too?
any discrepancy in any kind of the invoicing, whether it be contractor, Wildan, that's what they're all working out right
Environmental.
now. Environmental, all of that. So I think it's just a bad description, what I put on there.
Okay, and the one above it, Wildan 2020 slurry seal.
Uh-huh.
What is that about? I thought
That,
the slurry seal people directly.
no, that's for Wildan's engineering of the slurry seal. The
Okay, very good.
plans and the coming up with the plans and the specs and all of that stuff.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Okay,
And next month, you're gonna see some more Wildan for the slurry seal. And that's gonna be, they had one of their employees out there inspecting.
that's right.
Their-
full time, yeah.
The whole time. So, and he worked with us, we all kind of got to know him, he's gone now, but, he basically ran the job, and so his bills will start coming in.
Okay,
It's charged to the project.
okay, well, that's all I had on that. Did you have anything else, Debbie?
No. Good here.
Okay. Next we have is the investment policy and the rate. It seems to be spiraling in the wrong direction.
It's getting a tiny bit better than it was last month. Not a
Yeah.
lot, but a little bit. And just one more thing we didn't talk about, we did have our field audit. He was out here last week.
Ah, yes, right.
They're wrapping everything up, so they have every single thing they need from me. So this week, they're finishing up the draft. They will have it done in December, but I expressed to them that we'd probably rather have them come in January and present the audit at the
Okay,
board,
great,
and finance too. So
great.
anyway,
Excellent.
everything's going well with that.
Remember, we want we want that in advance.
Right, the draft,
Oh,
yeah.
So I would suggest, so we don't have another discussion like we had the last time, Jim, that you get that out, maybe even before you send the board stuff. You know what I mean?
Do
At
we
least
want
a
to meet
week,
as a
at least a
committee?
week in advance to the board members.
I'm assuming we're gonna have Mike Zizzi meet with the committee prior, correct?
That's correct.
Yes,
But
But
you're
you
right.
need it
it's
before
usually
that.
Before the meeting.
Yeah.
So
Right.
The board packet's already gone.
That's
So
right.
we'll do that. So Teresa, we gotta get it to the committee before it ever gets in the board packet, because how do we know? I mean, I will have looked at it, but I think the committee needs to look at it before we disseminate it, correct?
Right.
I get it, okay.
they promised,
We'll have to work out how we do that.
Right, okay.
they promised me that I will have the draft before the end of December.
Okay,
Oh, beautiful. Then
Yeah.
we can do that.
Yeah,
okay, good. Okay, anything else?
don't think so. I can't think of anything.
Okay, so we're according to whatever, we're going into executive session now, right?
Bye, you guys.
Okay, Greg,
Bye.
would you, I have, Teresa,
Yes,
have her do whatever magic she's gotta do to put us in closed session.
okay,
You're right by her.
will do. Give me 1 second.
Jim, you're the host now, so I guess we're already there.
Oh, I'm the host. Okay, so that means they're off.
Yes,
You can't hear us?
he's the host, so, yes, give me one moment and
Okay, it looks like, yeah, there we go. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, this was the first time. Any comments or anything?
I thought it went well, and I thought that, thought it was a good idea, number one.
Excuse me. excuse me.
Sorry,
What
guys.
do I push?
The bottom, more, is it more? Recording up here.
Here?
Stop.
Oh, just click?
That little.
Oh, this one.
there you go. Okay, you're good.
Okay, I'll say yes.
Yes.
Do you want to stop recording?